Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today? June 8th, 2026. Let me fix my screen here. Get you. There we are. Hi, how are you doing today? Welcome to Hola America. I'm your host, Ruth. Oh, we have a special guest here. My executive producer showed up, Shade. You see her? See my girl there? Right here? See her? My girl right there. I just started the podcast and they want to go outside. You're going to have to wait a little bit, baby girl, okay? So welcome to my podcast. A few housekeeping ideas. Got two dogs. Right, they're both right here. They squeak, they moan, they whine, they cry, they bark. Dogs outside that bark. Chickens outside that make noises and make them go off. Trains across the street. And deliveries. I'm expecting delivery today, okay? So without much time, I'm going to do this, guys. I got to put my light. I always forget to put my light on. I do apologize for being in your personal space. I got to have my light on so you can see my face because I am getting darker because summertime. Summertime. Hope you're enjoying your summer, guys. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. And we're going to go over some things here I got on X. We got a lot of stuff that's been happening. America, baby. Warm coffee in the morning, iced coffee in the afternoon. Woo! Keeps you amped up. We're going to go over some things here in X, okay? Alright? Stuff that went on this weekend with Trump. Stuff about Iran, Israel, and how even though our commander-in-chief says he's got control, he ain't got control because Bibi keeps doing what the hell he wants to do. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? So, without making you wait any further, let me do this. I'm going to go over some X stuff here. President Trump discussing Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who should be fired. He wants him to fire the parliamentarian in the House, in the Senate, I guess.
It's a very basic thing. It's called Save America, actually, and that's what it is. It's having to do with voting and voter ID. We want voter ID. We want proof of citizenship. We added a couple, no men playing in women's sports. We don't want that. Nobody does. I think it's about a 98% issue. We want no transgender mutilation of our children. Very basic things that you wouldn't even think we'd be talking about 15 or 20 years ago. But for the voting aspect of it is we want voter ID, very important. You have to have identification and you have to have proof of citizenship. We don't want mail-in ballots. We don't want to have ballots coming from all different corners of the world. We want to have it accurate, and you can't do that with mail-in ballots. Actually, Jimmy Carter headed a commission years ago. He said mail-in ballots no good. We're the only country in the world that's doing mail-in ballots. And that would exclude, though, our military or people that are ill, people that are away. So we're generous in that way, but people don't want mail-in ballots because you have crooked elections. It guarantees a crooked election.
Okay, so in that I'm in agreement with, I'm going to do this right here. Nope, we're going to do this. For that, I am in total agreement with. I believe that, mail-in ballots. Well, what's the deal? I mean, look what's happening in California right now, guys. Look at what's going on in California. And if you can't see the cheating going on in California, then you're part of the problem and you need help. But you can't have 24,813 mail-in ballots drop. Karen Bass get only less than 10. Spencer Pratt gets none. And the other candidate gets all the other 24,803. That is mathematically impossible for somebody to get 24,803 ballots, mail-in ballot votes, out of 24,813. That is mathematically impossible. It doesn't happen. Same thing happened with Trump and Biden in 2020. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. Biden went straight up, and Trump and the independent candidate got nothing as far as mail-in ballots go, and 5 days later, Joe's declared the winner. Now, Spencer Pratt and Steve Hilton were both ahead in their respective primaries as mayor and as governor, running for those those seats, right? Then they stopped the counting, and the next day they started counting the mail-in ballots. And next thing you know, Steve Hilton went to third, Pratt went to third, and the Democrats were in first and second. Because this goes to position 1 and 2. It's not a runoff where the top one goes on. It's the top 2 go on for the midterms. It's the only state that does that that I know of. It's crazy. It's like giving them a trophy for showing up. You can't tell me there's not rampant cheating going on. It's going to take 3 months to count all the mail-in ballots? Look, it doesn't take that long to count 360 million people in the country. When we do the national votes, it doesn't take that long. It's done by midnight. So why is not California, but LA taking that long? You can't see the fraud for the smoke? Because, California's always on fire. You can't see the fraud? The fraud is there. And the Supreme Court's going to get involved in this. Supreme Court is already at the point, which I've got on my X here, we're going to talk about, at the point of ruling for same-day only elections. Unless there is a holiday coming after or before, they'll allow an additional day, but that's it. And pretty soon, we're going to have mail-in ballots gone. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay? But this is ridiculous that they can't count these votes. Let's see here.
550 votes with 207. Somebody sent me the tape from a machine in California, and it reported 550 votes with 270 voters. That's the kind of thing we're seeing when we can get the actual documents. Meanwhile, Dominion and its minions and other state officials everywhere are apparently out there trying to destroy everything they can get to before we can seize it, and our Department of Justice and FBI are nowhere to be found. I am absolutely livid, and I know the American people are livid too. That's why we started the defendingtherepublic.org to fight this.
Let me be straightforward with you. I had a damn sight rather have Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani on the case than Christopher Wray and the corrupt fools that lead the FBI any day. I wish it were otherwise, but the American people understand what we now are up against in this country. And as I said at the outset of the broadcast...
Yes, we do. We understand. It's happening, guys. Whether we want it or not, it's happening. We are seeing fraud to the likes of which we have never seen before. Here is, I like Bill Hammer.
Election laws as of today, right? You got 58 counties. You got 1,700 drop boxes. You got 23 million registered voters, and everyone gets a mail ballot as of 2021. And that's the way they've been doing it in California. Now you got to match the signatures, and all this takes an extraordinary amount of time. Nonetheless, 56% of the vote is still out. That dropped a little bit from yesterday. We'll explain that in a moment here. Hilton in the lead, Becerra second, and Tom Steyer third. It's my sense that all three of them moved up slightly overnight, maybe about two tenths of a point for all three of them. Meanwhile, in the mayor's race, here's where we stand. Karen Bass has advanced.
Now this shows today, guys, but this is old. This is from Saturday.
Second place, holding
because Pratt's now third.
Rahman now is in third place.
Rahman is first, is second. Bass is won the first seat. Rahman is second, and Pratt is last. On the governor race, Steve Hilton is last, behind Fire. So this one here is for some reason.
But where does it go? Carl Rold is with me now to talk about this.
It came out today. This is not what we talk about. Here's the Supreme Court.
That involve, we have lots of phrases that involve two words, the second of which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington's birthday, Independence Day, birthday, and election day. And they're all particular days. So if we start with that, if I have nothing more to look at than the phrase election, Election Day, I think this is the day in which everything is going to take place, or almost everything. And then we have 3 points in time, 1844, 1872, 1914. We can ask, what would people have thought on those days is meant by this phrase, Election Day? Which of those should we choose? Which of those dates should we choose?
Well, I think you could choose any of the 3. I mean, honestly, I think the single best one, if you're just going to choose one, is 1872. And the reason I say that is because 1914 is the latest in time, but that's the one that Congress gave.
Oh, okay, that ended. So, that's the Supreme Court talking about how, let's see here. They're about to go to one-day elections, as they should. There should not be 3, 5, 3 month, 6 month, because it's cheating. That's what happened in 2000 with George Bush and Al Gore. Al Gore won the presidency, and it was stolen by George W. Bush Jr. or George Bush Jr., whatever the hell he is, by Jr. It was stolen by Jr. and the Skull and Bones and Daddy and all the 3-letter agencies. They stole that presidency and gave it to Jr. when it should have been Al Gore's in the first place. Then they did it again in 2020 with Biden and Trump, and now they're doing it here with Pratt and Hilton, taking their duly right place as race for governor in the number 1 spot and race for mayor in the number 1 spot. California is more conservative than you think it is. The reason why it has been held blue for so long and why some of the longest standing members in Congress and Senate are from California is because they do this shit right here. They pack the ballots for them to win. Pelosi, Nadler, Waters, Kamala Harris is part of that. Schiff, Swalwell, all from California, all dirty. Been there for years. Pelosi, Lord have mercy. All right. President Trump calling to federalize elections, as they should.
15 states are you
I want to see elections be honest, and if a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. Because, you know, if you think about it, the state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway. But when you see some of these states about how horribly they run their elections, what a disgrace it is, I think the federal government, when you see crooked elections, and we had plenty of them, and by the way, we had them last time, but go to 2020, look at the facts that are coming out. Rigged, crooked elections. If we have areas, take a look at Detroit, take a look at Pennsylvania, take a look at Philadelphia, you go take a look at Atlanta, look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved. These are agents of the federal government to count the votes. If they can't count the votes legally and honestly, then somebody else should take over.
The Constitution says it should be states that administer elections, Mr. President.
Totally agree with him. Folks, we're never going to get free and fair elections until we get people, until we do voter ID, same day voting, and get these damn machines, like do watermarks on the ballots. Is that so hard to do? Federalize. Now, we're not the only country that's crooked. All the other countries do the same thing. All the other countries like Venezuela that want to keep their crooked leaders in power use Dominion. Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, Korea. They all use the same damn machines to keep cheating, to keep themselves in power. It's time we make it firm and fair and consistent, getting the Dominion machines out of there, doing ballots with watermarks, same-day elections, voter ID, no mail-in ballots except for the military, know how many active military members we have, and you count that many or less in ballots. Not 270 voters and you have 505 ballots that you count. That's almost double. 540 would be double. 35 short of double the votes they're counting in California right now in one section of LA. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be like this. Period in a sentence. Shouldn't be. Okay. Now here's something silly. I've been talking about this all along, but now Fox News is just now thinking about this.
President Trump just got on Air Force One for a quick trip to Arizona for an event that we'll see later on today. He didn't take any questions, but he just told CBS News, he basically explained why it is that he's so confident a deal is about to be closed with the Iranians. He says that they have agreed to let United States, not troops, just somebody from the United States go in to Iran with some Iranian officials to collect leftover uranium, what he calls the nuclear dust, and then bring it back somewhere to the United States. That has been the key to all of this. The president earlier today disputed a report in Axios that the U.S. might unfreeze $20 billion in Iranian money in exchange for getting them to fork over all this uranium. He says not a dollar will be exchanged in any way. So we will definitely hear more about this once he gets to Arizona. But there's a lot happening, and it is possible that he doesn't want to get ahead of his team who are talking directly to Tehran.
Not going to happen, guys. I'm tired of hearing, and I'm going to go off on a rant on this man right here. I'm tired of hearing his bullshit of we're reaching a deal, we're reaching a deal, we're reaching a deal, and then tell Israel to stop, and then Israel bombs the shit out of Lebanon. Then he calls Israel and tells them don't do it anymore, and then Israel does it again. And he says he's got control of the whole situation. How do you have control when Israel's bombing the shit out of Lebanon whenever they want to? You don't have control. You are showing the world, and it's kind of embarrassing that the world sees that BB's got you by the short and curlies, dude. BB has you. BB's telling you what to do and how to do it instead of you telling him what to do. Because every time you tell him to stand down, he bombs even more. How is that controlling him? It's not. And there'll never be a deal made until we eliminate the crooked Mossad in Israel first. We got to take out BB and the government. Just pause with Iran, go take care of Israel, come back to Iran and be done. But we got to save Israel for last. Okay. But in the meantime, Americans, middle-class Americans, are suffering because gas prices are ridiculous, up and down, up and down. Groceries are up and down, up and down. Energy prices up and down, up and down. There's no respite. There's no respite right now. None whatsoever. Hi there, baby girl. So stop toying around with middle class and the lower classes' money. Get your shit out of Iran. Get the military back and be done. And then go take care of Israel. Go have Bibi arrested. Go put all of his government in jail. Have him put in prison for war crimes for October 7th, which he caused himself because he wanted to take out Gaza. And be done. Be done. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of it. President Trump, I'm done. I'm tired of all this bullshit. This, we got a deal. We got a deal. We got a deal. Okay, here's Jesse Waters on something.
Now we have a Fox News alert. The Supreme Court just cleared the way for Trump to deport illegals even faster. The High Court ruled that Trump can use the Alien Enemies Act to send Venezuelan gangbangers to a mega prison in El Salvador. This is a huge ruling in Trump's favor and a major win for the country. After, as you know, D.C. Judge James Boasberg ordered a stop to the deportations. So this is pretty significant. These deportations, Caroline, can keep going.
This is a massive legal victory, Jesse. A massive victory for law and order.
I don't know why my ex did this today, but it popped up a lot of stuff on here that's old. So we've known about that. We've known about this. Let me see what else is going on. Okay, Catherine Herridge. Okay, this is an old clip, but I wanted you guys to see this. This is old. This is what CBS is doing.
I think my current situation can help
this
put
is an
the
old clip from
importance of the Press Act
3 months
into
ago.
context. One of our children recently asked me if I would go to jail, if we would lose our house, and if we would lose our family savings to protect my reporting sources. I wanted to answer that in this United States, where we say we value democracy and the role of a vibrant and free press, that it was impossible, but I could not offer that assurance. The Bipartisan Press Act, which came out of this House committee, would put an end to the sort of legal jeopardy that I have experienced firsthand in the federal courts. And without the legislation, more journalists will run the uncertainty of the contempt gauntlet in the future. This legislation will provide protections for every working journalist in the United States, now and for the next generation. The legislation provides strong protections at the federal level for reporters and their sources. It would block litigants and federal government from prying into a reporter's files, except when there's an imminent threat of violence, including terrorism and in defamation cases. At the state level, similar rules are already in place to protect press freedom. It is my sincere hope that the passage of the Press Act will provide similar protections at the federal level. I hope that I am the last journalist who has to spend 2 years in the federal courts fighting to protect my confidential sources.
Okay, so the deal with Catherine Herridge, I'm going to do this here real quick. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to do this. Hold on just a second, guys. Because I want to check something out here next in a second. Catherine Herridge, remember, she was a big reporter for CBS. Then she kind of went on her own, but she kind of went rogue. And she was reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop. Remember how the conspiracy was, oh, it's not real, it's Russian disinformation, it's all made up, it's a hoax. And Catherine Herridge says, no, it's not. It's real. Started reporting on that. Started reporting about what's going on, really going on in Gitmo. And there's military tribunals happening at Gitmo that we don't know about. All right? To bad hombres from the first term that Trump is dealing with right now. So CBS fired her, locked her out of her office, went in there and took all of her files, seized her laptop, took everything that she had so she could no longer report the truth to we the people. That's what she's fighting for here. The Press Act that would protect journalists, protect their sources, and protect all the information that they get from the sources from evil entities such as mainstream media, CBS, NBC, ABC, CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, PBS, all of them, to allow reporters to keep their informants secret, to keep their information secret to where nobody knows about it, kind of like a lawyer and their client, okay, or doctor, patient privilege, client, lawyer privilege, same thing. She's trying to get that pushed because they have that all the information. They know damn good and well, as you and I know, Hunter's laptop was real. It was not disinformation. It was not Russian propaganda. It was not AI. It was real. Just like the Anthony Weiner laptop is all real. You know it and I know it. FBI had the Hunter laptop during the impeachment, the second impeachment on President Trump for the perfect call to Zelensky. And the FBI and Christopher Wray were sitting on it because they wanted Trump impeached. That laptop proved that Trump had a reason to be suspicious. The whole Burisma situation, the bribery, all the money going to Biden's and Republicans and Democrats alike that support Ukraine, like Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, Nancy Pelosi, all of them love Ukraine. So they kept sending Ukraine money, then Ukraine would send it right back. It was a money laundering scheme. It was never to help with the war. It was all about to help Zelensky get his 10th mansion on a 10th island somewhere, to help the Bidens, the Democrats, and the Republicans that voted for it, help them get their cut. That's all that was about. Okay? And that's just absolutely ridiculous that we have this kind of corrupt politicians that we need to get them the hell out of here. We need to get them the hell out of Congress. I'm trying to get to my well, okay. Let me look up some here. Hold on just a second. Man, we had a crazy weekend. Oh, you guys need to talk about this. We need to talk about the gold.
Have about half of what we have. But I'm going to talk about something. I was going to make a video on this, but about 95% of Americans don't know this. And from reading my comments and people who are watching my videos and following me, you guys are extremely intelligent. You seem to know more than the average person I talk to. So we're going to do this video. And it has to do with the Federal Reserve Act. I'm going to tell you about it. And some of you think you know it. There's more to it. So Congress has tried twice to pass a central bank here in this country, 1811 and 1836. And Andrew Jackson in 1836 vetoed it and said, absolutely not. He called it a monster institution and said, we don't need this.
I'll be right back.
But
My
let's
babies
go
need
to
me.
the Federal Reserve Act itself. So, the Federal Reserve Act was not written by Congress. It was written by private bankers, and I'm going to tell you when. Let's jump to November 1910. It's a secret meeting on a place called Jekyll Island. And what it is, it's an exclusive hunting club. And some gentlemen arrive, and they tell the staff that they are there just to duck hunt, and they only use first names. They've arrived on a private rail car. And here are a few of the people that were there, just so you know. Senator Nelson Aldrich. He was the Republican whip and father-in-law to Donald D. Rockefeller Jr., the president of the National City Bank, senior partner at J.P. Morgan, senior partner at Kuhn, Loeb and Company, and a representative for J.P. Morgan's personal interest. That's just a few. They spent 9 days designing a central banking system that would control America's money supply, not the government. It was called the Aldrich Plan. And when it was released to the public said, oh, heck no, we're not doing this. We want to have nothing to do with this. So the bankers went back and rebranded it. They're calling it the Federal Reserve System. And in reality, the bankers would have, it was called oversight by the government, but the bankers would have complete control of everything. But there was a reason for all this. There was a setup to get all this going. In 1907, there was a stock panic. It was called the Knickerbocker Crisis. It started in mid-October, and it lasted for a 3-week period. And stocks dropped 50% compared to the previous year. And it was suspected that J.P. Morgan had something to do with this. So after that happened, the bankers got together and they got 2 Democrats to sponsor this bill. And just so you know, the Federal Reserve is a private corporation. It consists of member banks only. All stocks in the corporation are privately owned. The public can't own any of it. They create money out of nothing, set interest rates, and they create and control most of the credit.
And that is true. Federal Reserve, built by 13 bloodlines. There's 13 members. J.P. Morgan Chase was the evil entity that started it. And I've talked about this with the Titanic. There were 3 men on that ship that were coming to America to oppose the central banking system of Federal Reserve. J.P. Morgan was scheduled to be on the Titanic and didn't go. They didn't survive. He did. Hence, the Federal Reserve was made. Federal Reserve, like you said, is nothing more than a printing machine. They control the rates. They do everything. They've got a board of 13 bloodlines. The elite of the elite. 5 people vote on how things are going to run in this country. 5 people. Why 5? Because you can't have, if you had 6, you could have 3-3. 5 can only be 3-2. You got a winner, right? They were involved in the Titanic. And they took down those 3 men so they could build the Federal Reserve, which I believe Trump is getting ready to take down because the dollar's going to have the signature on it. He's going to be on the $250 bill. It's weird. And then he's going to get rid of the IRS. All right? Now, he's talking about the gold. And Trump keeps talking about auditing Fort Knox. There's no gold in Fort Knox. It's been moved. And when that happens, and they walk in and see there's no gold in there, what's that going to do? It's going to cause all kinds of havoc. Where's the gold? I believe it's either in the mountains in Wyoming, Colorado, or deep underground dumps in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where I believe our gold is at. So guys, 30 minutes. Oh, you know what? I want to show you something here. Hold on just a second. I hear somebody out there talking, but I don't know who it is. I want to show you this little thing here about bumblebees. Alright, I want to show you this little thing here about bumblebees. I want you to watch this. So they have figured out that bumblebees are just as smart as chimpanzees, and they can be trained to learn like Pavlov's dogs, or like how chimps you can put bananas up in a ceiling, and you can put boxes on the ground, and the chimps learn that they can stack the boxes to get to the bananas. Same thing with the bees. To test the cognitive abilities of tiny insects, biologists from Finland's University of Oulu, whatever it is, taught them to associate a blue dot on their enclosures with a sugary reward, and provided them with a small styrofoam ball to roll around. When they placed the blue flower on the ceiling, the bees spontaneously rolled the ball underneath so they could reach their snack. Importantly, the bees had never been trained to roll the ball in order to reach the reward. Just like the chimps in Kohlberg's research, using the tool to solve the problem was the bees' own idea. Watch this. They were never trained. There's no sound, but watch. The bee can't get to it, right? It's moving. Okay, here. What's this? I'm going to move this. I'm going to stand on it, and I can get my sugary treat. Here's the second bee. Okay, I'm going to fight it. Going to fight it. Oh, got my sugary treat. This one here, elevator didn't go all the way up. Bless their little heart. They're struggling with a styrofoam ball. I give an A for effort. They trying, but that styrofoam ball is getting the best of them. Bless his little heart. He just can't get to it. Lord, watch. He's going to get tired in a second. He's going to poop out. Watch him stumble in a second. Poor baby. It won't stand. I can't. Oh, I'm so. Oh, he finally got it. He was so tired. That poor baby. Oh my goodness gracious. So guys, that's it. 33 minutes. I appreciate your time on this Monday afternoon. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Who knows what we'll talk about tomorrow? We shall see.